What's going on, guys? We got Bellator 265, Kongo versus Kharitonov. Prediction, breakdown, guys. Before I start, hit that thumbs up button. Try to get these videos out. Also, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And also, check out my Patreon account, which I'll leave the link down below. Last week, on the prop bets, booyah. Rough and Stouts had him for a decision. These are all singles now. Like I told you, Magomed could lose that fight. It could be a similar fight to Peter Yan fight, and it was definitely. And I had Stouts winning by decision, which he was a massive underdog. Like I said, guys, sign up to my Patreon account. I'm going to keep everything simple, because I believe simple is the best way to go, right? Simplify everything. Make it easy, right? Not too difficult. Okay, so on my Patreon account here, I will line it up just like what you see here. This is just what I have on there right now. I'm going to have face-off predictions, which I'm going to watch the face-off on the weigh-ins, and I'm going to drop the prediction in there. Usually I may try to do like one or two face-off in a list. So I may have, if it's a 12 play, I may have two different kind of 12 plays. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to leave it as one. The prop bets, like what I showed you, pretty much all singles. It's the fights that I don't feel too sure of, right? And I may go the other direction. And I'll give you guys the outcome of how the guy's going to win. The combination plays now could be parlays. So I may have like a 4 parlay, 5 parlay. Now, I'll be honest with you. My parlays, there's sometime it hit and sometime it doesn't, right? That's just how the game is. Nothing is definite, guys. Nothing guaranteed. Most of my prop bets be hitting a lot though. And obviously the face-off, hits good also, right? But if you want, like I said, whenever I'm breaking down my fights and predicting them, I look at the entire card as hitting the entire card in one shot. But like one of my subscribers said, he says, slow and easy, win the race. Don't get greedy. So you play the singles, right? So focus on the singles. So you focus on my original, playing the singles. If you want to do a parlay, you can probably put like a $5 maybe on the parlays that I have, like $1 each. But don't do no more than that, because going parlays is risky. Because if one guy mess up, then the entire thing is messed up, right? But on the singles, usually on my predictions are coming very good. I'm like 10-3, right? 10-1, 6-2. So at least you will make money back and make some money. But you can still do the parlays though, but I'm going to keep it simple with just one face-off. Then you have my original. Then I have a bunch of props, which are singles. Then I have some combination plays, which I may drop maybe, I try to keep it maybe just 5 different plays. So I may have a 4, I may have a 3, I may have a 12, I may have a 6, right? But like I said, it's risky, because if one guy or two guy falls off, then the whole parlay is done. But in parlays, you can win a lot of money, depending on how much money you put down, right? So, and it's just like singles, you put a 5, you put a 10, you put a 20, you put a 50, it all depends. You can still make some money on it, right? So that's what it looks like. Stouts came in winning, won by decision. Like I said, it was a massive underdog, and he won by decision, so that's even more. So sign up to my Patreon account, guys. Like I said, I'm keeping everything simple. I'm not going to give you guys too much face-off picks at one time. Just one set face-off. If it's a 12 play on a card, one face-off. I want to give you the props, maybe 1 to 5 different parlays, different combination plays, which you guys can do, and then you're going to have my original. Keep it simple, because I put too much plays out, it's going to be confusing. And it's better off if you go more towards the singles and a little bit of parlays here and there. All right? So let's jump into this fight card, guys. Let's knock this out real quick. I'm going to do the UFC after this also. I may take a look at PFL. I'm not too sure. Maybe I might. I'm not too definite about that, though. Same thing with this Bellator card here. I noticed that Bellator, they like to take the guys from the amateur and give them the first pro debut, which is very good. A lot of these amateur guys, that are coming up, they're pretty good. A lot of people don't know about them. So it's a good way for them to get the name out there, So a lot of these fighters here, especially these 3 fights here, I'm not too sure about it, I did my homework, but again, anything can happen, because these guys, they're making the pro and a lot of them are not too experienced, right? So, first fight here, we got Jeff Nielsen versus Corey Moggenberg. All right. It shows here on Nielsen though. See, this is the thing. It shows him 0-0-0 here, but if you look at Tapology, or I mean SureDog here, you look at SureDog here. It has him as 2-0. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe, you know, Tapology is not updated yet, probably. But it has him here as, where is he at? Where is he at? Did that fight fall off? Oh man, that fight fell off. Probably did fall off. A lot of these fights been falling off too, man. I mean, like the what's that guy name? Shows 11 here on Tapology. It looked like it fell off, guys. Look at that fight fell off. Yeah, probably did fall off. I'm gonna still break it down though, but because I'm not too sure right now. She probably did fall off the card. I'm gonna still break it down, but it shows over on SureDog that he's like 2-0. So he has 2 fights pro already. So and here it shows 0-0, like he's making his pro debut. Have a decent amateur here. Nielsen here, he has a wrestling base, but he can get submitted though. He got submitted by a guillotine choke where it looked like, you know, he should have gotten out of that because he was in the guy's half. But man, it looked like he was going to get out. I'm like, oh, he's not going to get choked out. And then he got choked out. So, I mean, again, anything is possible in this game, you know, even though you may be in a guy's half, you can still get choked out. It just depends on the leverage, right? So he has a strong wrestling base. That's one thing about him, right? His opponent here, Corey. Corey hasn't fought since 2019 here, and he has a BJJ purple belt, and he will look for the ground and pound and the submission. What I see from Corey though, you know, like I said, hats off to all these guys that are competing. You know, a lot of these amateurs are, you know, coming up, you know, in the pro ranking, and you know, a lot of prospects are coming up too. And like I said, enough respect to all these guys because your health is your wealth. Like I always say, a lot of these guys are putting their health on the line, right? So hats off to all these guys. If they're here, that means that they deserve to be here. They put the energy into this game here in order to be there. So hats off to all of them. But for this one here, man, I'm liking Nielsen. I feel Nielsen's wrestling is going to make the difference in this fight. But Corey has submissions though. And Nielsen has been submitted before by the guillotine in a half guard. Right, in the guy's half guard. So be very careful about this. Also, Corey is a 205er. And I believe he's going to drop down to 185. So he's going to be maybe frame-wise, he could be the bigger guy. That's when I'm going to look on the face-off on the weigh-ins, guys. So, like I said, sign up to my Patreon account because I may have different plays here. But I'm going to go with Nielsen here. I feel like his wrestling is just a little better than Corey. And striking-wise, yeah, I feel Nielsen has slightly better striking too. Yeah, so I'm going to go for Jeff Nielsen here, guys. And like I said, this is not confident. And be very careful with these early fights here. Because a lot of these guys, you know, they're still learning, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the game goes. You got to start from somewhere and then build yourself up in the game, in the sport, right? But like Nielsen, by decision, and it says that he's 2-0. So I could be wrong. It shows 0-0, but on SureDog it says 2-0. Okay? Next fight here, we got Bailey Schockenfelder versus Kevin Childs. Oh man, this one's a tough one here, man, because this one is very hard fight here to pick. Very little experience here, man. At least for Bailey. I mean, I saw a little footage of him, but it was like, I believe it was like on a video camera or something. It was like so far away. I mean, he knocked some guy out named James Muniz. So he has his pro debut already, 2021, in May. Looks like he's a football player and a wrestler, but that's basically it. He's a tall guy though, 6'3", probably has a long reach too. It doesn't really say, but he's athletic though. And I mean, football and wrestling, he's pretty good in wrestling also from what I see. So, I mean, but again, at least he has a first fight. Not like, you know, he's coming into his pro debut with nothing at all, just wrestling and football. At least he showed that, you know, he can handle himself a little bit. He's just he's not just going in there without nothing at all, without even an amateur or nothing, right? So, you know, this was tough, guys. His opponent here, Kevin Charles. Kevin Charles is going to be the more experienced guy, even though 1-1. But look at his amateur. And even though he loses, though, but he has more experience in the cage. Like I said, it's a game. This is a sport. And it's a sport where you fight in a cage. The more experience you have in the cage, is the better you're going to be. Even though you're losing, but if you're fighting a guy that never fought in the cage before and may have some wrestling, you know, the edge should lean against Kevin Charles, right? Kevin Charles is a big dude, though, man. Very big guy. He seems to have wrestling and has heavy ground and pound. But he carries a lot of weight on him, though, man. He carries a lot of weight. He says here is 280. Was his last. That was his last weigh-in. I guess that was for the boxing match. I think he boxes also. It's a tough one, guys. It's just a very tough fight here to pick. We're gonna look at the odds after. I know the odds are there, but I want to, you know, take a separate look at that and talk about that. Man. This guy is around 265 also. No, actually he weighs in at 230. So I guarantee your Charles is going to come in massive, maybe 265, because that's the, I think that's the limit, or 266. Any more than that, then it's going to miss weight. Yeah, man. Charles is the more experienced guy here, guys. I mean, but on footages, what I see from Charles, I mean, athleticism-wise, Bailey's a more athletic guy. Just from the little footage I see. Technique-wise, I mean, Bailey threw a good straight down the pocket. He's a more athletic guy. He has a wrestling. Charles here slightly looks kind of sloppy at times, but then he will put that body against you and hold you down and ground and pound you. I'm going to limb here, guys. This is kind of like a heads or tails here, man, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with Bailey, but honestly, man, this is a fight that you could fade, or you can go for Charles. You know what I'm saying? So, very little experience here, so be very careful. Very little experience among these two guys here. I mean, even though Charles has a big amateur, but, you know, if you look at his amateur and from his fights I've seen, you know, it's just, he needs a lot of work in certain areas, right? And, yeah, so I'm going to go with Bailey for the win here, guys. I'm going to say Bailey by KO, TKO, and I'm definitely not confident in this one. Little experience between these guys, man, so it's tough to pick it. But Bailey by KO, TKO, not confident. Next fight here, we got Devon Johnson versus Devon Fisher. Second here, guys. Alright, Devon Johnson here. Actually, Devon Johnson, man, he doesn't look bad, man. I mean, for what I've seen from his footages. He wants to keep this fight standing, right? He looks to strike. He can defend takedowns, which is great. And he can go for takedowns, too. So this guy here is not bad, man. I mean, some of his fights I see doesn't really look the same. And other fights he looks different. But overall, man, you know, his striking is not bad, right? And he's pretty well-rounded. Like, he knows how to play the game, right? His opponent here, though, Devon Fisher. Hasn't fought since 2017. And his last fight was against Darren Wynn, which Darren Wynn is in the UFC right now, right? Yep. Yeah, I'm going to fight Phil Hayes. Fisher here, he wants this fight on the ground, man. And that's it. He has 4 by submission, so he needs to get this fight on the ground. What I see from Fisher, I mean, big amateur, 4-9, amateurs there. And he has a decent pro as far as like started from 211, a lot of fights, 4-8. From what I see from Fisher, he's not active, and he's lacking certain skills in both departments, striking and even on the ground, where he's usually good at or where he's supposed to be good at. He's lacking his discipline there too. He can get submitted there, get knocked out. And against Johnson, I just feel Johnson is a little more crisper. It's a little more sharper with technique. Better, Johnson has better foundation, right? His foundation is better. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Johnson here for the win. And I'm going to say Johnson by KO, guys. All right, and like I said, these early fights here, even though I like Johnson, I'm slightly confident, but not too confident. Because even though his pro, is not too bad, and he has a big amateur. The guy's experienced, man. So it's kind of confident, but not too much. So, but still be careful with it. But I'm gonna say Johnson by KO. All right. Next fight here, guys. We have Archie Colgan versus Ben Simmons. Archie here, man. I'm impressed with all the guys here. All the guys do a good job. But my eyes are on Archie. Archie's a good prospect, man. Archie's a very good prospect here. Very good prospect, man. There. Trying to find the notes here for him. Archie, where are you at, Archie? Where's Archie? Yeah. Archie Colgan. Oh, here you go. Okay. I was looking for Archie instead of Colgan. All right, so Archie's a good prospect. I'm very impressed with Archie, man. Very impressed. His wrestling is good. Very good wrestling. All right, and his striking is pretty decent too, man. Very athletic. Got speed. Is powerful. Like I said, he's a good prospect. Strong wrestling base. He will throw those overhands, and his overhands are heavy. And heavy ground and pound, man. You're going to see this guy move up quickly. This is a good prospect here, man. And he's undefeated. That's basically it. The guy looks sharp. Even though he started his pro in 2021, his amateurs in 2019, I could see these. Like I said, guys, I've been doing this sport for a long time. And I've been training martial arts, which is not a sport for all my life. It's a way of life for me. So movement, timing, and precision, the grappling aspect, which I have a lot of experience in that too. I can see these things, and this guy gonna move up quick. This is a good prospect right here, man. His opponent here, Ben Simmons, hasn't fought since 2018. And he won his last fight against Keys Nelson. Triangle choke. He will look for the submission. Let me see here. He's going to be a taller fighter here. 6'1", and he's going to have the reach advantage. So, let me see here. Yeah, he's going to be. He's going to have the height advantage. He's 6'1", and Archie's 5'8", and definitely he's going to have the reach, even though it doesn't say, but he should have the reach over Archie there, being 6'1", 7'5". So Archie maybe I don't know, 71 or 72, maybe 3 inches over Archie. With Simmons, he gets flat-footed, man, and he's like a zombie, right? He's a guy that walks forward, takes a bunch of shots, and then he will look for takedown. You don't want to take no shots from Archie. But I see from Archie, he don't want to take no shots like that. If he's going to walk forward and take one hit, he's going to go out. If Archie connects to him, he's going to go out. I'm confident in Archie winning this fight. And I'm going to say Archie Colgan by KO TKO. Archie should win this fight. Again, anything's possible in this game, nothing guaranteed. But the way how Simon fight, his head is straight line. He comes straight at you like a zombie. And what I see from Archie can take this fight anywhere he wants. He has a strong wrestling base, but he also hits heavy. And he's quick and athletic. Cover distance quick. So if he wants to stand up, he can. If he wants to take this fight to the ground, he can. He can beat this guy anywhere he wants to beat him. Right? Anywhere. You could submit him, you could knock him out. It's not going to be a decision though. So I have Archie by KO TKO, and that's it. That's a confident play for me. Alright? Next play here. Let's see here. We have Mike Hamill versus Bryce Logan. This could be a tricky one here, guys. Took me a little while to break this one down and all. I spent a lot of time watching a lot of footages, of all their fights. Sometimes I go through all the guys' fights, man. That's why it takes me so long to drop these videos, right? Trying to give you guys the best prediction and breakdown as I can, right? So I don't want to come in here and give you guys half-ass jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not good, right? To give you guys half-ass work and then you guys end up losing your money, right? Mike Hamill here. Mike Hamill he has a strong wrestling base there, right? He will go for takedowns, obviously, and he will grind, right? That's his thing. But he's hittable, though. That's one thing I noticed. He's hittable. And whenever you see a guy take so much damage in a fight, it's just not good because then each time you get hit like that, you're doing damage to yourself, right? Messing up your brain, making yourself slower. So when you go into your next fight, it's the more slower you're going to be. You're not going to be as sharp as you used to. And remember, if you're taking damage, the least damage you get is the more sharper you're going to be in all your other fights. Right? It's like running your car into the wall consistently. The car going to take damage. Right? Or slamming your hard drive on the ground. There's one day it's not going to work properly anymore. So this guy will walk into shots, head don't leave center line, and he will gas out in the later round, right? And that's one thing I noticed that, I don't really like too much because then even though he has a strong wrestling base, he could go for takedowns, but then he's just eating friggin' shots, dude. Eating shots, right? His opponent here, Logan, I feel Logan is going to be the more technical guy here, right? His striking is more composed, has wrestling. He's going to have a 2-inch of reach. He can get taken down, though, but he will scramble up back to his foot, right? I felt he won his last fight against Georgie, man. Slightly. Yeah, I know he went to a split, but that split, it can go either way. So, obviously Logan could have won it too. But I felt Logan won that fight, man. And also, Mike Hamill against his last fight there against, not his last fight, against Adam Boricks, went to a split. I felt that Hamill kind of had that fight too, slightly. Just from the takedowns. That's why this fight can be a little tricky because if Hamill can push those takedowns and keep getting Bryce Logan down consistently, then he could win this fight. But I noticed about Bryce Logan, though, he's always moving and his footwork is pretty decent and he avoids taking damage. He's always slipping, taking his head off center line and lateral moving, sidestepping, staying off the center line, from getting those big shots. Because with Hamill's kind of like a brawler. He kind of just comes forward like a zombie. And with guys like that, man, it's like, yeah, he could get takedowns. And he may get a takedown on Bryce. You know what I'm saying? But then, can he hold Bryce down there? It's possible. You know what I'm saying? Because he held Boricks down. So it's possible that he may cancel. This fight here, man, I'm not confident in it, to be honest with you. And I feel like this should be an even match between Bryce and Hamill. Even, not even close, just an even fight. Because if Hamill could come in here and just push forward and just take him down, he can pull off a win. Also, Mike Hamill, the camp that they're coming out of, the MMA Lab, it's a good camp. He lost against Usman here, lost against Boricks, but then, like I said, I felt he won against Boricks. I'm going to go Logan. I just feel Logan is a more sharper technical, and his foundation, stand-up is better, and he has even wrestling too. But Mike Hamill wrestling may be better, but then Logan has more to offer, right? So I'm going to go with Logan for the win here. But I'm not confident, guys, and this is an even fight, just for the fact that Mike Hamill could grind out a win by split decision. Okay? But I'm going to go with Logan by a decision, and I'm not confident. Okay? Next fight here, we got Fabio Aguirre versus Taylor Johnson. This is the next one here. I'm not too confident either, guys. It's maybe kind of close. Fabio here, he's a well-rounded dude here, man. He's heavy-handed and has a submission game, right? BJJ. He can get taken down, though, and grounded out for the win. But he will attempt to get back to his foot, right? Let's see here. So there's a guy here that, you come forward and, he will be in the fight with you and he's not going to give up. So this guy is game, okay? His opponent here, Taylor Johnson. Taylor Johnson's a wild dude, man. He's going to have a 2-inch of reach on him. He has a strong wrestling base on him. Can get wild, heavy, ground and pound. He's actually heavy-handed too. We come forward and land overhand. All of his fights are by finishes. There's no decision for this guy. But he will fade in the later rounds though. And he can get taken down now depending on who is fighting. Against Johnny Eblen, which Johnny Eblen showed that he's a better wrestler, man. I mean, he showed that he's a better wrestler there. He was getting taken down, but then there was points in the fight where Johnson had Eblen in some kind of sticky situations as far as a knee bar and certain submission that he could have pulled off. And then he also hurt him, I believe, in the second round. So just that the fact that Eblen has a better ground, just the wrestling and the grinding, that's why Johnson really lost the fight. If Johnson could have controlled that and stopped the takedowns, then Eblen may have been a problem. I don't think Eblen could have stand up with Johnson. Because Johnson just seemed like he was more the superior stand-up fighter. Just that the wrestling, he just couldn't handle that. Do I see Aguilera grinding and wrestling like how Eblen does? No, I don't really see that. He may do it, but he may not last too long doing it. He's going to gas out. Right? If he gives the same pressure like Eblen does, Aguilera is going to gas out. Right? Taylor will get the fight to the ground because I feel Taylor has a more superior wrestling, but Aguilera has submissions, so be careful. And Johnson has been submitted by Andrew Muniz back in Contender Series. So be very careful with this one, man. This is the next fight here that I'm not confident in. But I must say Johnson by a KO TKO, but I'm not confident. And I would edge the fight slightly to Johnson, but close to even. Okay, but be very careful with this one because Aguilera could pull off a submission on Johnson. If Johnson push a takedown, and he doesn't really finish him and he's just down there, he can get caught in a guillotine or something like that. So be very careful. Okay. So Johnson by KO TKO. Next fight here, we got Journal Logo versus Keith Lee. Journal here's a next prospect guy here that looks pretty impressive, man. His striking is nice. His movement, his defense, his precision in striking, his speed, his leg kicks. He uses leg kicks to beat you down, to chop you down. He kind of pepper you with the strikes, right? And then he goes for takedowns. And he looks like he has a wrestling base also. So let me see here. 3-inch. He's going to have a 3-inch of reach over Kevin Lee. Heavy leg kicks. He's quick on the feet, very athletic. He's very well rounded to me. I mean, the guy is very rounded. I mean, from his wrestling, takedowns, scrambling, the guy is very well rounded, man. As in last pro, he lost one time to Ryan Kush. Decent movement, switches stance, change levels. You go for double or single legs. I mean, the guy knows how to play the game, man. So, I mean, this is a good prospect guy here. His opponent here, Lee. I said Kevin Lee, did I, right? My bad, Keith, man. I mean, Keith Lee, not Kevin Lee. Sorry. Kevin Lee's his brother, dude. My bad, man. My bad there, Keith. All right, so Keith here. Keith is actually getting better, man. And he's well-rounded, too. He also has a wrestling base, and he actually looked better against Stutz, did man. He looks better against Stutz than what Muhammad or Magomed looked like. You know, I feel like he did a better performance against Stutz than what Magomed did, right? I mean, from my opinion. Let me see here. Lee and Logo look very similar, like in looks. Like, look at these two guys, man. They look like twins. Look at they could be cousins or brothers, man. I just want to throw that out there. Like I said, Lee has a wrestling, and his wrestling, if he uses it, it could play a factor in this fight, because I saw from Lugo's amateur fight there against the guy that he was fighting that he lost to. There's a point where he was getting taken down, but it was mostly off the striking against Ryan. And look at Ryan kind of hit him with some good shots and kind of wear him down. Then he started taking him down back to back, and the fight ended with Lugo on his back. So if Lee coming with a game plan here and decide to work the takedowns, he may can win this fight. But then that was way back in 2018. I mean, Lugo has been getting better from what I've seen from his fights, and man, this is a tough one here, guys. You know, and from what I see from Lee from his last fight there against Stutz, I mean, Stutz is a tough fighter, and even all his other fights here, you know. If he's gonna strike with Lugo and just make this a striking match, I mean, Lugo not a bad striker, man. Like I said, both of them look alike, and both of them kind of fight similar, but in a kind of way, I feel Lugo is a little bit sharper on the feet than Keith Lee is, man. I mean, just to be honest, man, maybe a slight kind of sharper, man. Lee gonna have the power though, and that's gonna make the difference. So Lee gonna hit harder, right? He's gonna hit with harder punches, but I think Lugo is a little more technical. You know, he would break down to the legs, and his movement and his defense, I feel, is a little better than Keith Lee, man. So, I mean, this is the next tough one here, man. I mean, like I said, Lee gonna pack the power, so it doesn't take much. If Lee connect maybe 1 or 2 times, you could see Lugo getting knocked out probably, or getting hurt. Then he could work his wrestling. But Lee gonna have to have a game plan in here. If he's gonna go straight striking, man, I just feel Lugo looks better on the foot, man, and Lugo gonna have a 3-inch reach. Kevin is 70 reach. Obviously, Lugo 73-inch, right? Man, I'm gonna have to go with Lugo here, guys. I mean, I'm from footage I watch of Keith Lee and Lugo. I mean, I feel Lugo has enough wrestling here. And I mean, to defend. Lee could be slightly bigger in frame, but the reach go to Lugo. Like I said, I like how Lugo looks on the foot, man. His movement is very technical guy. I like his movements and the way how he strikes better than Kevin Lee, man. And he switch up his stance, like he sees the strikes coming. You know what I'm saying? He slip them and counter. You know, he break you down to the legs. He would set up from the outside. You know what I'm saying? He uses punches, set up the kicks them. You know what I'm saying? And his head movements is good. He knows lateral move off the cage. I mean, the only thing is a power advantage from Kevin Lee, and from Keith Lee, and if he decides to use a takedown, you know, maybe the pressure. But Lugo looks good under pressure too. I mean, I must say Lugo, guys, but be careful because Keith Lee could win by a split decision. Damn, man. I'm just keep saying Kevin Lee, man. Keith Lee could win by a split decision. So be careful. But I got Lugo, and I got Lugo by a split. But this fight, man, in my opinion, and if you look at, you know, the guy's amateur here, Lugo amateur, and look at Keith Lee, I mean, they're not too far apart. You know what I mean? And like, they're not too far apart. And they're not too far apart in skills, man, as far as like the amateur and like the experience. You know what I mean? I'm not too far. The only person experience really is Stutz, probably. No, you know what I mean? It's not. I mean, not too far away. You know, from saying like, oh, Keith Lee is a big experienced guy. It's one of the toughest fight for him. Maybe it could be, but I feel Lugo could win it though. So I'm going Lugo for split decision here, guys, and I'm not confident because Keith could win by split. Believe me. All right. So this fight is an even fight for me, but Lugo by split. Next fight here, and this fight gonna be a good fight. Lugo and Keith Lee gonna be a good fight, man. The two of them gonna move well in there, but I feel Lugo has a slight edge on him in the movement department and the footwork and the distance and timing. Just striking, he gonna have the edge. Power, Lee. All right. Next fight here, we got Gane versus Billy Swanson. Marcelo Gane versus Billy Swanson. This the next one you gotta be careful with too, because I'm liking Gane for the win here, but you think about Gane can drop the ball, you know. And with Billy Swanson, this is a short notice for him because it's supposed to be Kevin Tiller, but Tiller dropped out at the last minute, so Billy Swanson jump in there. What I see from Billy Swanson though, Billy Swanson's a big dude, but he's hittable though, man. I mean, he come right at you, but he coming at you to go take you down. Look at wrestling is his thing, so he's looking to take you down. The striking is still in the works. Like I said, all these guys, you know, they had to build themselves up and get better and better and better. So I mean that's just part of the game. But the guy has a massive amateur, and he's only 8-1 amateur, and only 4-1. So I mean, like I said, never count out your opponent. Never overlook your opponent, because when you do that, that's when it bites you in the ass. You know, never be like, ah, man, this guy just short notice, whatever. Yeah, he comes in there and he whips your ass, or he submits you, which is whipping your ass. So I mean, I wouldn't sleep on Billy here. Billy's a tough guy, man. He walk forward, but he get the takedowns on you, and he will look for submissions, and he will ground and pound you out. But his stand-up striking, though, is still in the works, right? Gane gonna have the better stand-up, right? Gane definitely gonna have the better stand-up here, right? Gane here. Let me see here. I'm all over the place here. Gane used to be in the UFC, like what you guys remember, but he only won in the UFC, so it's like 1-3, right? Lost against Tim Johnson, Arjun Buller, and Sergey Pavlovich. Coming to the ATT, American Top Team, which kind of shift my perspective. You know, you train American Top Team because that's a gym I used to train at too. They build good guys there. They build good fighters coming out of that gym, you know, especially in the ground department, in the wrestling and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, that's what they're known for. But they have some good strikers there too. But American Top Team, they come up with good game plan. So they go towards the weakness of the opponent. So wherever the opponent is weakest, that's where they're going to go and expose that. That's the best thing about American Top Team. So American Top Team is a good gym, especially Coconut Creek, the main gym. Right? So American Top Team, aka, you know, those are very good gyms there, man. And then there's some other ones too. Greg Jackson is the next good one, but American Top Team is way up there on top, along with AK. Gane here, like I said, he could take this fight anywhere, man. If you want to take the guy down and submit him, he can. If he wants to stand up, he can. The fact that Billy Swanson is going to want to take this fight to the ground, there may be a game plan for Gane to stay on the outside. And I believe he's going to have the reach advantage by maybe 5 inches. It doesn't say what Billy reaches, but I could see maybe it could be at least 5 inches. I could see Gane sitting on the outside and just pepper him up with shots. Probably knocking him out. I mean, I could see that happening. Right? He can take this fight anywhere though, but again, the strong points of Billy is on the ground, and Billy has submission game too, so he could take it anywhere, but you could see him probably standing up on this fight and then maybe getting a knockout. So I'm going to go with Gane for the win here. But like I said, be careful with Gane, because like I said, he's at a good camp though. But yeah, the camp trains you well, and they train a lot of good fighters, but sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time is up to the fighter, the mental state. You know, he has all the tools, he got all the training. Now it's time for him to go in and perform. If he ain't doing what the corner tells him to do, you know what I'm saying, or he's not taking it serious, or he's mentally not there, then he will lose. So it's not the camp, it's the person, because the gym is a good gym, right? But I must say Gane though, but don't sleep on Swanson. But Gane by KOTQ, guys. I'm not confident. All right. Next fight here, we got Logan Sterling versus Dante Circo. Logan Sterling, I'm very high on Logan Sterling. Very, 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 very high on Logan Sterling. Logan Sterling is a high-level wrestler, man. This guy is a very, very good wrestler. Very good wrestler, man. High level. His fight there against Yazov Amosov. I know I pronounced that wrong. That fight, he said split, meaning that Sterling should have won that fight. I felt Sterling won that fight by split, in my opinion. No, I'm not biased against anybody. If Amosov won, I would have said, yeah, Amosov is a very good fighter too. And then Amosov showed good ground defense in that fight. But I felt that Sterling edged out a little bit. Right? Sterling here, he's well-rounded. I felt he won his fight, like I said, his last fight there. And like I said, I'm high on Sterling. Sterling is high level, man. And his striking is coming along. He looks good on the foot. His wrestling, his double single legs are like fire. It's like bullets. I mean, and his scrambling, his reversal, everything he does on the ground. Some point, it says high level wrestling, man. He will ankle pick you and reverse and take you down, and just certain positions that he put you in. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how you get there? So, you know, it's like, it's amazing, man. The guy is a very skilled guy. So I'm high on Sterling here. His opponent here, Dante Circo, he's a 185. So that's something to look at. This is a pretty tall guy, man. He's 6 foot. And he's going to have the, let me see. He's going to have the reach over Sterling. But he's a 185er, actually. Fights a 185, like majority of his fights. Sometime at 170, but he started at 185, especially the amateurs. And, you know, put off his fights. A lot of them by submission, though. A lot of ground and pounds. But his stand-up, though. His stand-up, it needs work, right? Most of his knuckles, nearly all his knuckles, are just by ground and pound. Those heavy leg kicks, which I noticed, he can get taken down, though, which I noticed that. And against Sterling, he will get taken down. He will. 100%, he is going to get taken down. But he will look for submission, though, and he's sneaky with submissions. So we lock up Darce chokes, lock up guillotine chokes. Like I said, his thin air, look at more the submission, and his knockout mostly on ground and pound once he gets you down to the ground. Striking stand-up is kind of predictable, kind of flat-footed. You can tell what he's going to do, right? But he's well-rounded, though, man. You know what I mean? The guy is well-rounded, right? But there's level to the game. There's always levels to the game, and I feel like, you know, Sterling is a better fighter here. So, like I said, I'm high on Sterling, man. And let me see, I don't think it's a short notice for him, no. So, I mean, I'm kind of high on Sterling here, but like I said, the Dante, you know, he doesn't look bad, you know, and if he gets you in positions, he can pull off submissions on you, and he can get the takedowns. He's a heavy striker, and he's a tall, lengthy guy. You know what I'm saying? So, he can hit you from the outside and pull off wins against certain guys. But I feel Sterling here is going to take this. And I feel like with this fight here, they're giving him this fight because of the Amosov fight. And Amosov kind of similar to Dante as far as the frame and the height and the reach, kind of in a sense, and the way how they. I mean, Amosov's a better striker than Dante is. You know, Amosov's a better striker, but you know, Dante will throw his hands and just the reach and length. So trying to give Sterling somebody that they may feel like is kind of similar to Amosov to see how he does. But Sterling should win this fight, though. And I'm going to say Sterling by KO TKO, guys. And I'm confident in this one. It's a confident play for me. All right? Next fight, we got JJ Wilson versus Adam Boricks. It's a good fight here, man. I'm high on Wilson, too. Bellator have been looking very good lately, man. And if they continue with fights like this every single week, could be problems. I mean, there's always something out there for everybody, though. I mean, UFC has their fans, Bellator have their fans, and UFC people like Bellator also, and you just mix up whatever crowd, right? But this Wilson kid here, JJ Wilson, he's a pretty good fighter, man. This guy, his ground game looks legit. This guy's like a cat on the ground, dude. He's gonna have the 4-inch of reach over Boricks. His BJJ is on point. His wrestling looks decent. He will go for double and singles and always get them. He will set up traps too with his submission game. Like he will have your back, you know, and then he will make you, you know, scramble and turn over, kind of like facing him. But while you're facing him, he will go for the armbar. So he will set traps for you so you can fall into a submission, like a Venus flytrap, right? Like I said, he will submit you. He's very well rounded. His striking doesn't look bad either. He has a heavy overhand. Definitely let his hands go heavy overhand and heavy ground and pound. And like I said, he moves like a cat, man. 24 years old, I mean, young cat still, but you know, but the guy looks legit though, man. And every fight I see, he just getting better and better, man. Right? Clarkson, he went to a split. I don't think so. I feel like he won by just a decision, but it is what it is, though. His opponent here, though, Boricks. Adam Boricks is a very good striker, too, man. Very well-rounded guy, too. He has a submission game, too. But I see a little bit of, you know, weakness in him slightly. A little hole in his game slightly, and that's in the takedowns. He can get taken down. The wrestling department, he can get taken down, man. He's a good fighter. His striking looks nice, right? But Wilson has striking too, and Wilson's striking is not on the level of Boricks, but it's not too far off though. You understand? And I feel Wilson's ground game is better than Boricks' ground game, especially his wrestling and his takedowns, and definitely submission. I feel like he's way better on the ground, man. Boricks against Pico, he almost lost that fight. If he didn't land that flying knee, he would have lost. He was getting takedown in that fight consistently. He was consistently getting takedown by Pico, consistently. And he was losing the fight all the way until he got a flying knee in the second, right? Darren Caldwell, same thing, got taken down, got submitted. Mike Hamill, I felt like Mike Hamill won that fight. When he fights high-level wrestlers or guys who can wrestle real well with submission game, he has problems with them. Because striking is more of his thing, but he has a ground game too. But against high-level wrestlers or guys who does it well, he will get taken down and grinded out for the win. So that his takedown, you know, is where I see a little weakness, right? So that's the thing about this fight, man. I mean, like I said, Boricks is what 17-1. I mean, like I said, he's skilled, he's a skilled guy, but the striking from Wilson is not too far off. Because Wilson, I feel that Wilson packed more power, you know, with his hands. You know, Boricks has the knees and the kicks and stuff like that, but I feel Wilson can use whatever striking he has and get this fight to the ground and maybe look for submission. It's a close one, guys, and I'm not confident in this one at all. I feel like this is an even fight, in my opinion, because both guys are slightly similar, even with the striking, but the ground, though, is a difference, and that's why I'm going towards Wilson, because the ground, I feel Wilson is like a cat on the ground, man. And if Boricks get on the ground with Wilson, I could see Wilson possibly controlling this fight, maybe ground and pounding, or just have him on the ground, and then Boricks have a hard time getting back up, and then he could even get submitted. And also, there's a reach advantage by Wilson. Wilson has a 4-inch reach, man. So Wilson is a long, lanky guy, 5'11", 146. Is 140. Yeah, he's massive at his weight class. He's massive. I mean, Adam Boricks is 5. Yeah, he's kind of huge at the weight class, but then Wilson carried a 4-inch reach. And like I said, yeah, they could strike it out, but then I feel Wilson can take this fight easily to the ground if he wants to. Similar to what Pico, similar to what Hamill did. And I feel Wilson shines better on the ground, but then Wilson still can land a heavy shot. So I'm liking Wilson here. I just feel like Wilson is a little more well-rounded, man. You know what I mean? Not taking anything away from Adam Boricks. He's well-rounded too, but man, Boricks can get taken down, man. And that's the thing, right? So I'm going to go to Wilson for the win here. And I'm going to say Wilson by submission, but I'm not confident. And this is an even fight. Even fight here, guys. And I'm not confident in this one because if Boricks can defend the takedowns, you know, he can win, but then Wilson can also strike. And the striking is not so far off. So, I mean, man, I just feel Wilson's going to pull off the win here. So, Wilson by submission, guys. That was a co-main event. That's a good co-main event. I'm actually high on Wilson, man. I feel Wilson's a very good prospect, very good fighter, man. Main fight here, Cheick Kongo versus Sergey Kharitonov. Cheick Kongo here, man. This guy been in the game for a minute. Damn, from 2001. Wow. The guy's very experienced, man. Very experienced. Been in the UFC for that long? From 2006, he's been in the UFC. Wow, he's in the UFC for so long. Wow. The only thing about Cheick Kongo now that is not too active anymore. He's been in the UFC for a minute. Wow. He just not too active. He's not too active anymore. I mean, obviously, I mean, Cheick Kongo is what? I mean, age is a number, though. All depends on how you take care of yourself. And Cheick Kongo take care of himself very well. I mean, look at the guy, he's still in shape. But fought only one time 2020, lost to Tim Johnson. Fought 2 times 2019. Fought 2 times 2018. So he's not very active, man. Cheick Kongo more kickboxing, heavy-handed. He can get taken down, but his ground game has gotten better over the years. He's going to have the 7-inch reach in this fight, which can make a massive difference, right? Massive difference. This is a fight where I'm going to have to see the weigh-ins in the face-off, man. Have to. I want to see how the guy's body look, if they're actually in shape. Because, like I said, man, with these heavyweight guys, you know, there's sometimes, you know, you pick a guy, you know, he takes one punch, you know, you can see what the guy look on the scale. If he's like, look like he, you know, his stomach hanging over, just, he's kind of hunched over, look like he didn't even really train. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's kind of, so watching the face off, you see the mannerisms, you see how the body look, even though it's heavyweight, so. And Cheick Kongo usually come in weight. His last win was 245. Sergey, 265. I think Sergey used to be a light heavyweight at one time. His opponent here, Sergey, I think he used to be a light heavyweight at one time, right? 230. Or was he always 265? Or he was always up there. Oh, okay. Guy back in Pride. Remember Pride, guys? Ooh. Critical Countdown, Total Elimination, Final Conflict, Fist of Fire. Oh, man. I still have all these on DVD. Oh, wow. Yeah, so he's a kickboxer too, a legend. All these guys are legends, but Sergey is more of a legend though from Pride days, man. I mean, he was way back there, Dream, Strike Force, way back there with Raw. I think he fought Shami Shelt. Fought in a girl, but Marisa Verdum, Madison Overeem, Alexander Emelianenko, which is Emelianenko's brother. Yeah, so way back in the days. He's a legend in the combat sport world, right? Well-rounded guy, can take this fight to the ground. The only thing about Sergey, I feel Sergey is more active. He's like boxing now, so he just boxed recently in June. You know, and he had a next boxing match in 2020, had an MMA match 2020, so this guy is way more active than Cheick Kongo is, man. And obviously been working his boxing more because he's actually boxing. So I have to see the face-offs here, guys, but if I have to make a pick, I'm gonna go with Sergey for the win here. But I'm not confident because both big heavyweight guys, and I'm going more for just more of activity. You know, he's more consistently active. You know what I'm saying? And Cheick Kongo is not active. You know, even though he fought 2020, but I mean, he only fought twice, 219. The last fight against Bellator was a non-contest. I mean, so I'm gonna go with Sergey Kharitonov here for the win. And oh man, I don't even have to win here for Sergey. Let me see something. How is Sergey going to win this fight? I know Cheick Kongo been finished a couple times. Cheick Kongo is a tough dude though, man. It's hard to put Cheick Kongo away, man. Even though been knocked out 3 times, but it's hard to put him away. It's going to be a tough fight here because Cheick Kongo, like I said, I'm not confident in this one because Cheick Kongo could win. He got the massive reach advantage. It's a 5-round fight, right? I think so. Should be a 5-round fight. should be a 5-round fight. Yeah. Oh, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? No, it's a 3-round fight. Really? Is that wrong or right? It's a 3-round fight? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, and if it was 5 rounds, Sergey get the decision. You probably could work, or Sergey will fade, and Czech Kongo will fade too. But I must say Sergey by decision, guys. But I'm not confident, because Czech Kongo could win. If Czech Kongo can keep this fight standing and use his reach, he could pull off a win. But Sergey is more experienced, and Sergey can take the fight to the ground. And if he really wants to, he can take this fight to the ground and probably even pull off a submission if he really wants to. Right? That sambo background kind of vibe going. Okay, so that's it there, guys. That's my prediction breakdowns there. Quick look at the odds here. See what we're working with. Hopefully no crazy odds like last week, which Bellator look at, they're giving some crazy odds. Okay, let's quick look here. We got Archie. Archie's negative 750. Well, that's the guy that I'm high on, right? That's my prospect guy there. That's my prospect guy there that I'm high on. Like, there's no way he can lose. Negative 750. He can't lose. There's no way he's going to lose this fight. No way. He's definitely going to win. Against Ben Simmons. Yeah, he should win this fight. And at 750, I don't disagree, man. And the odds are high, though. But I'm high on Archie. And his guy is a good prospect. He's a good upcomer. And 750, and he should win the fight. Okay, so I agree with this. Okay, Devon Fisher, Devon Johnson. Johnson at 550, 450 straight across. I like how Johnson look. Like I told you guys, I think Devon Johnson is not a bad fighter, man. You know, he got good stand up. He's a pretty well-rounded guy, and Fisher hasn't fought in a while. Yeah, really, man. I don't disagree with the other on this one, man. I feel like he's supposed to can beat Fisher, man. I'm not as high on him like I am with Archie, but Johnson should win this fight. I mean, Fisher, from what I've seen on footages, you know, I feel Johnson is good in every department. Fisher may have a submission edge, but even still, I feel Johnson can still avoid that and defend that and still pull off a win here. So I don't disagree with the 550, man. I mean, you know, it may be a little high, but then if you look at Fisher, the way how he fights, he's a lot of holes in his game. And he hasn't fought since 2017, and he has a lot of holes in his game, man. You know, Johnson has a better stand-up. Johnson got better movement. Johnson got better foundation. So I don't disagree with the odds, guys. All right. Bryce Logan and Mike Hamill. Bryce Logan negative 200 straight across. I disagree with the odds in here. Reason for that, because Mike Hamill is a grinder and a zombie. Logan looks good, don't get me wrong, and I have Logan winning, but I feel this is more of an even match. So I disagree with the odds because Mike Hamill could pull off a split decision, guys. Remember I said that he could pull off a split decision. So Logan at 200 here, I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. Let me see here. I disagree. Let me see. I know he's not making his debut. I know he fought already in the Bellator. Okay, he went to a split with Georgie, which I felt like he won that fight, but slightly. But yeah, man. No, this should be an even fight against him and Hamill, because the wrestling from Hamill, and Logan has wrestling, but I feel like Hamill is more of a grinder, and if he can grind in the fight, he can pull off a split. Just kind of similar to what Georgie did. All right, so be careful with this one. I disagree with the odds. Nielsen and Corey. I don't think I agree with this one, guys, too much. The odds on Nielsen too high, man. And the reasons for that, why I say that, because Nielsen got submitted. He got submitted when he was in a guy's half guard. I mean, anything is possible, and you can get submitted anywhere, but the guy just got good leverage. But Corey has a submission game, and even though it's 1 and 2, you know, he has a submission game. I mean, from what I remember. He has a submission game, man, and he will look for submissions. I do feel that that Nielsen, yeah, is a favorite, but at 400, nah, because again, I said Nielsen, he's good wrestler. I like his wrestling look, but he can drop the ball, right? So be careful with this one. Him at 400, I don't agree with it. I see Nielsen maybe at 160 or 150, right? But him at 400 is way too high. So I totally disagree with this one, because Corey, even though he's 1 and 2 and Nielsen has a better wrestling, but Corey, I believe from what I remember from footages, he has a ground game. And you can lock up something, it's possible. So be careful with this one, guys. I disagree. Bailey and Kevin Charles. Damn, Bailey's 70. Nah, man. I cannot agree with this one, guys. Remember I told you, Bailey, just one of the footage we see with him. Yeah, it looks good on the outside, land a straight punch in the pocket and knocked out the guy. Football player, wrestling, had only one amateur, had one pro fight. He has no amateur fights. And he's like a freaking 700, 800 favorite. Nah, man. And remember, Kevin Charles is the more experienced guy. He's, the more experienced guy here. Even though it's 1 and 1, but he has a big amateur. Even though he loses, he's still a more experienced guy because he's been in there consistently, fighting in a cage, dude. He's been in there playing the game for more than one time. Been there from 214 playing. All right? Or I want to say competing, because it's not a game, because it's a deadly sport. You can really get hurt in this game, right? So, like I said, I disagree with the odds. I totally disagree with it. There's a hell no. This is either dog or pass. That's it. I mean, I'm still gonna, when I make my face-off plays, I'm gonna have Bailey in it, but still, obviously, and some prop bets, maybe some, maybe some combination parlay plays. I'm gonna have maybe 1 or 2 Charles in it, because Charles, is a more experienced guy, But Bailey supports he can win. I'm not saying that Charles is going to go in there and beat him, but Bailey, from what I've seen from his footages, for the little footage, he supports he can win, but he's too damn high, man. There's no way. So I totally disagree with this. I'll probably put Bailey maybe sitting about this fight too, man. Charles is a more experienced guy, so Charles should have the edge, if you want to be honest. He should have the edge, in the odds. So it should be like a close to a favorite. So Charles should maybe be edging it more as being a favorite, but I see this fight as being an even fight, just the fact of just the experience, man. It doesn't matter if you play football or wrestling, it's a different sport, man. So, disagree with the odds, guys. Be very, very careful or fade this one. Fabio and Johnson. Johnson 245-50. I disagree with this one because Fabio is a pretty good fighter too, man. Johnson, yeah, I see him as favorite, but this is a very close to even fight for me. Very close to even fight. And I believe I said that on my predictions and breakdown. I'm not confident in this one, and I don't see Johnson being so high at 245 because Johnson could drop the ball, like I said, remember? He could get submitted. And his opponent here, Aguilar, has submission. He has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he could submit him. So I'm not confident. So this fight is very close to even, if not even fight. I think I said even on my breakdowns and prediction. So Johnson at 245, be freaking careful. I do have Johnson winning, but be careful. I disagree with the odds on this one. Lee and Lugo, oh my goodness. Oh man, okay, all right. See, I like to do my breakdown and predictions, and the odds are where it should be. All right, okay. So they have Lugo as favorite. Interesting. I would think Kevin Lee. Saying it again, man. Sorry, Keith Lee. I would think that Keith Lee should be the favorite here. Or, by the way, how the odd makers may look at it, they may want to put Lee as a favorite. You know what I'm saying? For me, I feel Lugo, in my opinion, is the more technical skill fighter here, in my opinion. That's very interesting, though, that they have Lugo as favorite. All right. I'll put Lugo as a little bit lower, though. Maybe, which I do have it here, a little bit more lower to even fight. If anything, it could be even an even fight, close to even. But I would edge it to Lugo, because I have Lugo winning, man. I would say maybe like 130, 140 around there. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like he's just more skill factor than Lee, man. But that's interesting that they got this one right, though. Because, I know a lot of people would say that, oh, Keatley, you know, a more experienced guy, better fighter here, whatever, whatever. But no, I see Logo as being the more skill. I look at the guy's skill set, you know, not just if he's like the more experienced, just his skills. You know, his foundation, the way he moves in there. You know what I'm saying? You know how well rounded he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Keatley pat the power, but I like Logo, but they got it right here. But the odds is slightly a little too high though, so I still be very careful with this one because it's more of a close to even fight. Because I could see Lee maybe edging to a split decision here. It could just be one of those things where, you know, they have Logo winning, but then it's more like Lee's gonna pull off the fight. You get it? You see where I'm going with these guys? It's like they have Logo, but then, you know, Lee pull off a split decision. It's very possible, right? So be careful with this one too, man. Like I said, I see this fight more as a close to very even. Lugo maybe 130, very close to even, man. If not even a even at the end, right? So like Lee could win by a split decision, guys. So I disagree with the odds in here. Even though I have Lugo winning, I disagree with the odds. All right. Logan Sterling and Dante, man. Sterling's freaking high as hell, but I'm high on Sterling though, man. But he's freaking high as hell though, dude. I mean, the only way Sterling loses fight, man, if Dante submit him. But Dante is no way close to his wrestling. No way as close to Sterling wrestling. Not even, he ain't, he's not on the level. It's different levels. He's not on the level of his wrestling. But his submission games maybe, I don't know, maybe slightly better, maybe in some kind of way. But I mean, I cannot disagree with the odd in here. I mean, Sterling, I'm very high on Sterling, man. And I feel like he's going to beat this guy. So, and then his striking department, I feel Sterling is better on the stand-up. So the only edge here Dante may have is maybe by a submission, which is like, it's a long shot in a kind of way. I don't really see that happening. So, and Sterling is where? Sterling is what? I think Sterling is at a, I want to say it's an American top team. I could be wrong. But the odds on that is, I mean, some high odds though, but I really don't disagree with it, man. So, I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm kind of high on Sterling, man. So, Stanford MMA, which is a good gym here, too. Stanford MMA is the next good gym, guys. Got like Rumble Johnson over there, Ruthless Rabiloya, Vincent LeCue, Gilbert Burns, Jason Jackson. There's a lot of good fighters here, man. Yep. It's a lot of good prospect, a lot of good fighters over there. Oh yeah, Deerfield Beach, that's right. It's actually close by hometown here, man. South Florida. Alright, so yeah, man, I don't disagree with the odds of that. I feel Sterling is going to pull this fight off. Even though it's like freaking 3,000, 3,500, 3,500. Yeah, I like Sterling for this one. The odds are high though, but if you guys even want to take a shot at Dante, you could, but I feel Sterling's going to edge this fight out easily. Possibly first round finish. First round, probably ground and pound. Yep, the only way I see is just if Dante get a submission, which anything is possible in this game. Like I said, nothing guaranteed, guys. Anything is possible, but I don't disagree with the odds though. Boricks and Wilson. All right, here. Okay. We got Boricks as favorite here. It's kind of close. It's kind of close to even here, guys. It could even turn into an even fight. So I have Wilson winning, but I can see where it could be an even fight after a while. It's very close, but this is more of an even match for me. So even though Boricks is favorite, it's still an even match for me. I like Wilson though. You know what I'm saying? I feel Wilson is a little more well-rounded. So yeah. So I slightly disagree with his odds here, but it's I kind of disagree with the odds on this one. It's more of an even match here, guys, and I feel Wilson is going to edge it, in my opinion. So, like I said, it could go either way. If Wilson have a hard time taking on Boricks and he can just outstrike him, then Boricks can win. You know, I feel Boricks may have a little more experience. I mean, that could pull it off too, but just by, you know, the way how the guys move, the fighting, the ground game, the wrestling, you know, Boricks can get taken down consistently. We'd have to edge it to Wilson. So, but it's close to even, man. It's very, very close to even fight, which they have here. But I push more to more even kind of fight. All right. Gome here, don't put the odds up for that one yet. Gotta just switch it recently. So definitely going to be the favorite there, and he may be even a high-ass favorite probably. But again, be careful with that one because, like I said, Billy. I mean, you never know, man. Short notice fights, you just don't know. And Billy don't have a bad record either, especially the amateur record and his pro. The guy win fights. So check Kongo and Kharitonov. I got Kharitonov as favorite here. Close to favorite. Yeah, close to even. I mean, I mean, I don't disagree with this, man. I mean, it's pretty much right. I mean, it's back no either way, to be honest. Kind of like the Boricks and Wilson. I mean, maybe close to when the fight started, this could even be an even match. They're edging Boricks, but I like Wilson, so I don't really too disagree with this, but still be careful because I'm like I said, I like Wilson. Okay, so the fights that I disagree with in here, I disagree with. Let me see. I disagree with Bryce Logan and the Mike Hamill. That's an even fight. Be careful with that one. Nielsen and Corey. Be very careful with this one. I disagree. That was too high on Nielsen. Bailey and Chaz. Be very careful with this one. Very careful. Bailey too high on this one, man. Taylor Johnson and Aguilera. Be very careful with this one because Aguilera could get a submission. Be careful. All right. Lee and Lugo. More of an even match here. Still be careful because I could have Lee underdog now. Lee, I believe, was a favorite, I think, from what that slide saw. It's a possibility. But it could be one of those things where Lee get a split. If he goes in there and push wrestling. If they study Lugo, they can see that, you can wrestle him. In some aspects, if you can hurt him and hit him with a couple shots, you may can wrestle him. But that depends on the game planning, though. So be careful because then it could be a split decision by Lee. But I disagree with the odds. This is more of an even fight here too. All right, so the next one I disagree with. Slightly disagree with Wilson and Boricks. I have Wilson winning, so be careful with this one too. And that's about it, guys. Yeah, so odds are kind of high though, and a lot of fights here. But like I said, man, there's always upsets though. So especially in Bellator. So that's it, guys. Sign up to my Patreon account. Check my Patreon. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Also hit the bell. And that's about it, guys. I'm gonna go look at the UFC now and try to work on that one. Probably look for that maybe by tomorrow. And also I will post up the prop bets. Actually, the weigh-ins is gonna be on Thursday, tomorrow. So I'll drop that on tomorrow on my Patreon account. So you guys can check out the Patreon. I'll leave some combination parlays on there too. One love out to everybody. And